UFC Fight Night, Cejudo versus Song. Here's my experience.
I see my haters proud of me now. When I'm around, it's all smiles. I took over my whole town.
To kick us off, I'll give this card a solid 8 out of 10. The prelims really delivered on this card. The first fight of the night being Modestas Bukowski's getting a first round knockout. I knew it was going to be a great night. And then you follow that fight up with Nursulin Rozaboyev, who gets a finish in the very game and debuted in Monaco, and Rozaboyev was able to get that man out there in the second round. But the first oh shit moment of the night, we had Mr. Ricky Simon versus Javid Basharat. Javid Basharat was a huge favorite going into this fight, and I was very confused as to why that was the case. Ricky Simon has easily fought the better competition and easily been in there with some of the best in the world, and Ricky Simon showed that Basharat, he's not ready for that level yet, as he was able to absolutely put Basharat's lights out, completely out cold with the 1-2, and it was almost picture perfect to see. Following that fight, we had Mansour Abdul Malik versus Nick Klein. I'm not gonna lie, the first round kind of scared me. Nick Klein hit that man with a beautiful spinning elbow. It was supposed to be a spinning back fist, but the elbow caught him and it absolutely rocked Mansour Abdul Malik. I'm not really sure how he was able to stand up, but he was, and he was able to survive into the second round. And survive he did, because he absolutely excelled in the second round, just pushing over Nick Klein and then finishing him with punches. I mean, I think the future is bright for Mansour Abdul Malik. I've already had him at the top of my list for the Dana White Contender Series this last season. I think a fight like this is really going to help Mansour Abdul Malik be a better fighter. And I also think Nick Klein is going to have a pretty decent career in the UFC. The last prelim I'm going to talk about is Mr. Cutelaba versus Abu Aslan. Cutelaba is not the same guy that he used to be. He is a lot better than he used to be. He's just not going out there looking for firefights. He's actually incorporating wrestling into his performances, and this fight was pretty much epitome of that. Pretty much, I want to say with the 30 seconds of the fight, he was able to take him down and pretty much choke him out. It looked like it was an easy day at the office. It looked like Aslan has never been down there before, but Aslan on the feet is a very dangerous man. He just has to figure out a way to keep it there, because Cutelaba looked really good. Now, is he going to be some type of world beater in the next couple of fights? I don't think so, but I mean, it was a good performance from Cutelaba. Opening up the main card, we had Alonzo Atomic Minifield versus Julius Walker. Fight of the night. This fight was a banger through and through. I mean, both of the guys was absolutely exhausted after round one. But that just showed that both these fighters wanted to win, and they just kept throwing big shots at each other and hoping one of them would fall. They didn't fall. But with that being said, I think Julius Walker is going to have a fantastic career. Do I agree with the decision? Kinda, I guess, if you want to give it to him 2-1 either way. I mean, I had it for Walker, but it is what it is on that. But the light heavyweight division, I think they got some new life with Julius Walker, and I think the Juice Box is going to be a really good fighter in the near future. I mean, he's very young in the UFC. That's his first decision. So I think we're going to get a really good performance out of Juice Box his next fight with a full camp. Alonzo Minifield, for him to be the 15th ranked light heavyweight, I wasn't impressed. Following that fight, we had the superstar on this card. We had Mr. Gian Silva versus Melijic Bagdasaryan. I'm not trying to say his name again, but Gian Silva put on an absolute show. Absolute show. He wasn't in danger at any point in that fight, which is kind of crazy, because he went in there and treated that fight like it was going to be a sparring match, and he absolutely dominated through and through. Able to finish that man. It should have been a walk-off knockout win, but the ref said, you got to finish it, and he went to body elbows on the ground, which looked very painful to go through. Then he went to the head, and the ref said it was enough. Gian Silva has a very bright future in the UFC, and I think his call out on Bryce Mitchell was absolutely perfect. Hopefully the UFC books that fight. Following that fight, we had another fight where there's an old savvy vet versus young up-and-comer. We had Mr. Rob Font versus Jan Mazumoto. Jan Mazumoto looked very, very good. He looked fantastic on the ground, and if he could have got the fight there more often, I think he probably would have won this fight. But Rob Font and his boxing looked absolutely crisp, and technique was sound through and through this fight. Rob Font, even at this age, still packs a hell of a punch as he was able to connect on Mazumoto multiple times. And that step-in elbow that absolutely cut Mazumoto's face open was absolutely nice. It didn't look too hard live, but the damage was very, very telling. And Rob Font did what he needed to do to win this fight. Who does Rob Font fight next? I have no idea, but I will be tuned in whenever he does. In the co-main event of the night, we had Mr. Anthony Hernandez versus Brendan Allen. This fight was fun. This fight was real fun, real grappling, heavy base fight, but that's what Anthony Hernandez needed to do to win this fight, and I'm not mad at him because his wrestling isn't boring. He usually tries to go for the choke or punches you in the face. He's just not going to lay on top of another man for extended periods of time and not do anything or not try to do anything. But I will say, Brendan Allen, when they were standing up, did look like the superior striker by far. By far. Brendan Allen's shots like they was becoming more faster, more stronger, and they was having more of an impact whenever he did. This is like a zombie. He's going to keep coming forward. He wants to grab you, and he wants to put you on the ground and punch you or choke you. Pretty much what happened in the 3 rounds of this fight, it was a contrast of styles for the most part, because Brendan Allen doesn't like being on the bottom like he was. He's just getting smoked. Hernandez moves into the top 10 in the UFC middleweight rankings, and he also became the UFC's record holder for most takedowns in the middleweight division. In the main event of the night, we had Mr. Song Yadong versus Henry Cejudo. The main event kind of was a dud. I mean, Song Yadong was pretty much easily winning the fight up to that point, but Song Yadong did foul Henry Cejudo multiple times, and I feel like a point should have been taken away, and I feel like this fight should have been a draw. It should have been a draw. I'm not really sure why they had to start the 4th round just to say that it was over. That kind of makes zero sense to me, in my opinion. I don't think you had to do that. If it was going to the scorecards, just go to the scorecards at that point. That's just me, though. But Song Yadong looked fantastic. He looked fast. He looked strong. He looked better. I mean, I will say that Henry Cejudo did not look out of depth in that fight. He wasn't looking slow. He wasn't looking sluggish. He wasn't getting punched a lot. But Song Yadong is just a younger fighter, fresher fighter, and it showed in that fight. Does Henry Cejudo fight again? I have no idea. Personally, I don't think he should. I don't think he has to. I mean, he's been a multiple-time world champion. Now, I understand if he wants to fight for the check got to be huge. That check got to be huge. Plus, he's main event. That check got to be nice. Former champion, multiple-time UFC fight vet. I know that check is coming in really, really, really well. But in terms of legacy, he can't really do too much to help it. I think everything he does now is going to be hurting his legacy. It's kind of like a BJ Penn situation. Not as drastic as BJ Penn's situation, but I think that helps his legacy because I don't think he gets to another title shot at this point. Plus, who's the champion right now? Marab. Oh, exactly. He got dog walked by Marab. So I don't think that's a very good thing. But what do you guys think about this? What did you guys think about UFC Seattle? What was your favorite moment? What was your favorite low light? Always, if you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Be good people. Peace.